We might get in trouble.
It's okay. Thank God this doesn't go out live.
This week's episode of Quality Irrelevant is brought to you by Uncle Jimmy's rustic vintage handmade fuck replicants. Do you miss the days you could make sweet tender love to your lady wife and feel a real human connection with a woman made of flesh and blood with real emotions and feelings? Neither does Uncle Jimmy, and that's why he puts so much time and effort into carefully crafting each one of his rustic, vintage, handmade fuck replicants. He sources the finest quality materials from local suppliers, from lightweight but sturdy carbon fiber tubes for the skeletal structure so you don't accidentally fuck it in half like a poorly made fleshlight ripoff, to realistic flesh-like silicone so it feels like you're penetrating a warm apple pie and not just rubbing your bulge against a cabinet. But don't worry, Uncle Jimmy hasn't included any of those really gay emotions in the programming of his rustic vintage handmade fuck replicants, so you can remain emotionally detached and borderline sociopathic just like a real man should be. Uncle Jimmy's rustic vintage handmade fuck replicants. Smash your genitals into one today.
Is it bad that I was thinking it was going to be much worse than that?
There was language in there that I thought wouldn't be good.
There was a lot of language.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably not the worst thing Uncle Jimmy's ever got me to advertise.
No, and it probably appeals to that dude bro crowd, you know, the frat
probably, yeah,
crowd that used to be the dominant demographic, but slowly every single person on the planet is realizing that they are dickholes.
Yeah.
But they still have money.
They do love those fuck replicants, though.
They do. Anyway, on the topic of smashing your genitalia into things, how about we move on to the rest of the podcast?
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
That's a segue. Oh shit, we're not allowed those.
No. This is bad because I planned like a semi-slick intro.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
And it's all gone to shit now.
Well, that could be cut, except I'm not going to cut this bit now, so we've got to pick up our A game.
Okay, well, I'm just going to do it. It's going to be a really jarring transition into the intro, and I'm just going to start shouting things.
Okay, that's fine.
Roll camera! Cue sound! Marker! Action! Quality Irrelevant, the movie, Dawn v. Justice.
I want you off the fucking set, you prick!
What the...
No, don't just be sorry. Think for one fucking second.
Christopher Bale?
What the fuck are you doing?
Christopher Bale's not supposed to be in this movie.
Are you professional or not?
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And like that, he's gone.
Oh, this is brilliant. Oh, new Will Smith song. Oh, great. What? Post-credit sequence? Oh, amazing.
Fine.
That was brilliant. I can't wait for the sequel.
Are we breaking new ground by inserting post-credit sequences into audio-only movie trailers?
I don't really know what that was.
Isn't that our movie that we have?
I think so. I think I would just put the trailer for our movie on.
They'll understand. I'm sure they'll understand. People respond positively to known routines and known quantities. If you start playing some well-known music, which you fucking nailed, by the way, and then just started going like, in the beginning, one man, the only man, wham! If people immediately know, like, oh, it is trailer time.
Yeah.
Everything that happens from now on is just like a montage of reality.
I sort of feel like that might have been the whole movie. It was just 20th Century Fox theme tune on the flute.
Yeah.
Title, title sequence, and then Jurassic Park on the melodica. Then Christian Bale showed up for a bit.
Yeah.
Ending with like just the classic Usual Suspects ending. Nod Your Head by Will Smith.
Damn right. How every film should end.
How every film should end. And then the Thanos post-credit sequence. I think that is the perfect movie I've just crafted.
Yeah, I mean, it summarizes what we are as a podcast.
A collection of obscure references and pointless stuff thrown together, then regurgitated out, and people are forced to listen to it.
Could we say obscure references? Shouldn't we more say, like...
really obvious references.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the phrase.
Like the most well-known references of all time. Like, I could have just ended it with I see dead people, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, I'll be back.
Well, I think actually what you have done, you have expressed your innermost nostalgia for the 90s, which were our formative years.
Yes, but what I have done more so than that is I have introduced this very special episode of Quality Irrelevant. It's Quality Irrelevant goes to the movies.
Oh, shit.
All of the things are movie themed this week. You have a film pitch. I have Phil's Fun Film Facts. All of those are with a PH instead of an F, which I'm going to be dropping in throughout the episode to educate and inform, and hopefully to entertain as well. And then probably talk about films a lot, because we usually talk about films a lot.
That is our cultural touchstone, I feel.
Yeah, and then the episode will just sort of end.
Sort of
and
fade out.
We can all just leave.
Yeah.
That is like the content page of this podcast.
Because we don't do show notes.
No, just the contents page at the beginning.
Does that mean we've got to do an index at the end?
Yes, and that's not even to mention the bibliography.
How many, what was it, Phil's Fun Film Facts?
Yes.
How many of those do you have?
Well, it's a happy coincidence that I have 5, which is also spelt with a PH.
God's sake. Okay, well, I'm going to say roughly our podcast sort of has 5 acts. That's not entirely true, but let's just say it does. There are, on average, 5 sections. There is the intro bit, then there's the preamble bit, / recriminations, then it's some sort of, like, idea of some kind, then it's some kind of topic or another idea, and then it sort of ends. So, would it be appropriate for you to drop a fun film fact down on us right now to get the ball rolling?
I can knock out the first fun film fact right now. Did you know that Citizen Kane was entirely ad-libbed, as Orson Welles didn't really know what the film was supposed to be about and never wrote a script? He was forced into making the film for tax reasons, and it was a near miracle that everything fell into place to make one of the most famous films of all time and a masterclass in deep focus photography, especially as Welles himself was dangerously high on tryptophan for the entire length of production, thanks to his daily lunch of 4 whole roast turkeys on rye bread. Orson Welles, more like Orson Wales, cause fat. So that is the first fun film fact, just a taster of what's to come. I do have some extra little addenda to these facts if you would like.
Yeah, well, my whistle has been wetted.
Speaking of Citizen Kane, did you know that in Japan the movie's translated title is Rich Man Go Sledding Everybody Make Sad?
I literally can't tell whether you're lying or not.
That is for you and the viewer to decide.
That sounds like one of those magician rhetoric lines that they drop every now and then.
Oh, in that case, I retract it fully because we disagree with magicians on an ethical level.
Damn right, but I get your point. Now that I think about it, Citizen Kane does seem very ad-libbed, and the structure of the film itself as if someone retroactively had to go back and make sense of, like, Orson Welles has shown up to work looking like 80 now. How are we going to fit this into the continuity? He looks like 20 in one scene, then he's like 30 years older the next scene. Like, oh god, okay, we've got to try and fit this together. I know, flashback, retelling of a tale, sew it together, hire some actors to sort of weave in between and sort of retell the whole thing. Don't tell Orson, you know how he gets.
Yeah.
Punchy is how he gets.
Punchy and prone to deceiving the country into thinking Martians are attacking.
Is that true? true or is that an urban legend? I think it's one of those things where it's like you get some nipple going on Twitter or whatever saying like, oh my god, I thought that Will Smith was white this entire time and now I realise he is not. Mind blown. Hashtag who else is with me? And no one else is with them. They're just completely on their fucking own. Was it that like one guy was fooled by Orson Welles doing his radio broadcast and then the media just went crazy with it? Or like one guy told his kids like, oh, my friend fucking went mental when he heard about all them aliens and shit. And he just told everyone like, oh, people in the past were fucking dicks.
Well, I don't know. For me, it sort of depends on where in his career it happened, because if it was like later in his career and everyone heard him on the radio go, oh no, the Martians have attacked, they would be like, what the fuck is Orson Welles saying that the Martians are attacking?
Yeah.
This is clearly fiction.
Like Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, like when he got that big beard.
It's exactly the same thing, yeah.
Orson Welles pretending there are Martians is exactly the same as Joaquin Phoenix getting a big beard.
Yeah, like people look back at us and go, oh my god, they really believe that Joaquin Phoenix was a rapper. And we're like, no, we didn't. No one believed this. Everyone thought it was weird. Everyone thought he was on the up and up. You know, no one believed him. But, you know, history will portray us as fools, Phil. Fools. And on the subject of how history shall portray us, shall we get on to that preamble bit where we talk about, like, what we're doing and where we are and that stuff and maybe link it into film somehow?
No.
Oh.
I don't have anything interesting to say. I kind of blew it all on the trailer that I made.
Okay, well, shall I tell you where I am?
Tell me where you are.
I think after the gripping conclusion to the episode last week, some people may want a bit of a follow-up.
What, when you died and then I sang along to I Touch Myself?
Exciting times we live in, exciting times. After the events of the last episode. Now, we don't like to use the term warfare, okay? I'm stepping away from that term. I'm putting a line between me and the term war or warfare. That was last episode's shtick. But nonetheless, I'm still paying the price of my actions. Since then, I have been doing rather well. After my capture...
Your capture by the enemy.
Yes, well, the winners of the conflict, as it were. So now just the norms. What is that term? History is written by the victors?
Well, yeah, because all the losers are probably dead.
Yeah, so I think Victor won there, and now he gets to write the history and decide, you know, what's going on, you know, who did what to who. So according to Victor, I was in the wrong, apparently.
Well, I'm not sure, because I'm struggling to think whether there has ever been a good Victor.
Well...
Victor Frankenstein, flawed character. Victor Von Doom, the big metal face guy, done evil.
Yeah, although a sympathetic villain, because he truly believes what he does is for the good of mankind.
Does he?
Yeah, he saw a vision of the future and realised that the only way that the Earth survives is if he takes over. Every other version of the Earth resulted in death. So he saw into the future and knew that he was the saviour of mankind. So that's why he's trying to take over. He wants to be a benevolent dictator in order to save the world. It has been pointed out in subsequent canon that what he saw was a version of the future. So it's not actually that he is genuinely Jesus with a metal face. But as far as he is concerned, he is doing it not for power, not for evil, but for good.
Also, he was God for a bit recently.
Oh, I didn't see that. I missed that bit.
He, like, smashed all the universes together, and then he was God of it for a little bit. And then Reed Richards is now, like, God of everything. And he stopped Doom from having a messed up face.
That solved all his problems.
Yeah, he's a good guy now.
That sounds a bit Time Crisis-y, or Infinite Crisis-y.
Time Crisis was the video game that you play in petrol stations.
Well, I think that conversation is wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow there. But no, as I was saying, nowadays I'm doing rather well. I am nice and relaxed is the most important thing, as I've been committed to a very prestigious psychiatric hospital, or the loony bin, as it is affectionately known. And it's pretty good here. I've been given a whole new wardrobe that consists entirely of luxury soft white bathrobes. I get to try out the sauna a few times a day, play tennis outside on the very expansive grounds.
Oh, that does sound nice. How how is the electroshock therapy?
Better than the waterboarding.
Oh, well, that's fine then. Like, you've got to have a bottom.
Yeah, I have to admit, waterboarding is the worst experience any human can go through, and the only person who says otherwise is Dick Cheney.
Yeah, didn't he say not torture, definitely, like drowning a person? That's just how we decide who is king of the Iron Islands.
Yeah.
We might want to cut that out because that was a reference.
I don't know. I mean, this is all getting very confusing now. And on the point of confusing and keeping it in line with films, I have to say that my following descriptions of things are purely based on what I have seen in films. And by that, I mean, of all the people I dislike the most on the inside is Miggs. I have to say, I don't like Miggs very much. He's a problem.
No, he's a bit creepy.
He throws his semen around a lot.
Yeah.
Very unfriendly, very mean. Chatty, somehow has the power to stick to walls. I don't know how he does that.
Like some sort of Spider-Man.
Sort of. He seems to just kind of possess... It's like he's filled with an energy that just sort of allows him to be on a wall. It's not like he has the power to climb walls. It's just, if you think back on the events of when you had a conversation, when he, like, flicked semen at you, he was on the wall when he did it. Very confusing, man.
That is just sort of his state of existence is sometimes on the wall.
Sometimes on the wall. But, you know, he's got more friends in here than Cleves. Oh, I forgot to mention, Cleves is in here as well.
Oh, when did that happen? Is that why he wasn't tweeting at us for a while?
That is why we haven't seen him around. Yeah, he's now on the inside. Sexual indecency. He exposed himself again to an espresso machine at a local independent free organic non-profit startup artisan coffee boutique.
Oh, Cleves.
I know. And the doctors say he may have a terminal case of what is quickly becoming known as Cleves syndrome. I think only gets named that if he actually dies.
Okay.
So we're hoping for the worst.
All the best, Cleves. We hope you die.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the kind of relationship that we have with him. But it does explain why he hasn't been around so much. Oh, and just in case anyone is wondering, I have been allowed to continue to record podcasts. The staff here have been informed by the medical team that under no circumstances should the podcast discontinue, as they don't know what the sudden dismantling of my only sense of purpose will do to my already shattered psyche.
Well, at the very least, I hear that padded rooms have very good acoustics.
Oh, like you wouldn't believe. That you would not believe. However, I am recording this when I'm sitting beside the indoor swimming pool. Oh. So you might get a bit of echoing and a bit of water.
A bit of splishy splashy.
Splishy splashy, the odd bit of semen flicking in the direction of the mic. So I apologise for that. But other than those minor problems, things are looking up for Quality Irrelevant.
Yeah, we've got a film now.
Shall we move on to recriminations and sentiments?
I think it's important that we do move on.
Okay, I've only got a few short ones. I don't have that much contact with the outside world, so they've been sort of like coming over the wall in paper aeroplane form, and often scrawled in shit and blood. It might have something to do with the proper mental section of the prison that's divided by a wall.
Yeah, is that what it's officially called?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, at least I wrote that on the wall, referring to that section in shit and blood.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the same thing, really.
Yeah. So the first one reads, "The campaign shall never die."
Is that it?
That's it. I have no idea what that means.
No, me neither. Block them.
Yeah.
Build the wall a bit higher.
Yeah, I guess I could burn the paper. Like, I could probably leave it on the radiator for a long time. Maybe it will catch fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you make fire in a psychiatric hospital? Or maybe we shouldn't answer that on the podcast, thinking about it.
Probably not. We might get in trouble.
Probably not, no. No, okay, right. The next one reads, "If Theo and Phil had a baby, I would be it. See you soon."
I wasn't planning anything like that. I don't know what your intentions were with this podcast.
I would have to agree, we're not trying right now.
No.
Maybe if fiscally next year we do it a little bit better, we can maybe have that discussion. discussion, but for now, I think children are off the table.
Yeah, I mean, I hate children. You constantly talk about paedophiles, so it's probably not okay for you to have children.
I may have to cut that bit, but on reflection, I'll see how that sounds to an outside listener.
We'll focus group it, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll workshop that. But, while we're ever at that, we'll be seeing them soon, apparently, so make sure the gun is loaded.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll form a shiv out of a toothbrush.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all you can do.
File it down.
On the inside.
Okay, and the last one, the final one, which I think is the most harrowing, reads, I only listen to quality irrelevant.
Block them.
Well, I feel we may have even had that one before. I can't remember. If it is a repeat review, 1, fraudulent, and 2, I don't know how they keep coming. Either multiple people are saying this, that they only listen to quality irrelevant, as if maybe it's some sort of clandestine group or cult is forming around our podcast.
So they only listen to quality irrelevant. Is there much of a distinction here between listen to and hear? Because if this is the only thing that they can hear, maybe we are part of a medical breakthrough? That we are the only thing that deaf people can hear?
I assumed it was like a group of people that dressed in dark green robes, the colour of quality irrelevant, and swaddled their ears at all times, but only allowed themselves to hear the rich, buttery sounds of our voices.
I'm eating butter right now. That's probably why my voice sounds like that.
Yeah, gets all hot and dribbles down your chin.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fuck that cult. We'll see how they do. Or it could just be one mental who lives over the wall, in which case I'm going to get Miggs to chuck a projectile that way and see how he likes that.
Chuck a salty projectile over that way. How is Miggs not over that side?
Well, because he's so charming.
He's a charming jizz flinger.
He's a charmer. The prison guards love him. Doctors love him. That's what I meant to say. Doctors. Yep.
Definitely not a prison.
Definitely not a prison. I'm wearing a robe, so that's not weird.
Yeah, prisoners don't wear robes.
Right, shall we pick up the pace and move on?
I have some recriminations and sentiments. Our first one says, it is sickening, utterly worthless, shameful trash. If it is not the worst podcast I have ever listened to, that makes it all the more shameful. I ended up disgusted and unspeakably depressed, which is negative, but not of our podcast. It is Roger Ebert's review of Caligula, but I thought there were some valid points in there that may be related to quality irrelevant.
Isn't Caligula the Malcolm McDowell one?
I think so. I think it's one of those arty films that have a lot of erect penises in them.
Is it arty though, or is it one of those sort of like, isn't it made by the same sort of gang that were, doing like Behind the Green Door? Is that one? And Deep Throat and all those kind of like genuinely enthused people that believed that hardcore penetrative sex scenes would make it into mainstream Hollywood films, and they couldn't quite get Malcolm McDowell to get it up and put it in, but they just have sort of people in the background doing that. It's like see a bit of that, and it's like 5 hours long.
It is 156 minutes long.
356 minutes long.
156.
356 minutes long.
683 minutes long. It was the only feature film produced by the men's magazine Penthouse. The producer originally intended to produce an explicit pornographic film with a feature film narrative and high production values. It was porn, essentially, but it starred Malcolm McDowell, Helen Mirren, Peter O'Toole, and John Gielgud.
Helen Mirren is in that?
Yeah.
I've got to watch that film. I know what I'm watching at the Seamany Cinema later on.
Yeah, it does say many have considered it as one of the worst films ever made.
Yeah, I'll be slinging, but you know what, let's move on.
Yeah, so the next one, bit shorter, just says groan-worthy and downright racist. Again, not of our podcast. That is Josh Larson's review of Airplane.
Racist? Was that film racist?
I may have misquoted, paraphrased.
Okay.
I think it was maybe like some of the jokes could be considered downright racist.
There was that woman with balls in her mouth.
Yep. Don't have balls in your mouth. come on, love.
It's racist.
And finally, all the squealing tires, flying bullets, and falling bodies cannot save Quality Irrelevant from drowning in its own banalities, which is accurate, but also not of this podcast. That's Andrew Ross's review of Heat.
It's weird that he name dropped Quality Irrelevant into Heat.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. The timelines maybe don't quite match up.
Well, like all good science fiction, everything needs to be retconned and rewritten and readdressed. So no doubt an explanation for this disruption of continuity will be addressed like 30 years in the remake or the reboot.
I imagine so. So those are my recriminations and sentiments. Does this count as a section, and would you like another fun film fact?
Wait a minute.
What?
I like Heat.
Yeah, Heat's a good film. I specifically tried to find bad reviews of good movies.
And then you pick Caligula.
Yeah, I just had to use that one because it was fitting.
It was apt. Yeah, okay, fuck this. Let's hear one of Phil's fun film facts.
In The Wizard of Oz, did you know there's a moment where you can look into the background and see a peacock committing suicide by firing a cannon directly into its own beak? At the time, the producers claimed it was one of the actors who played the Munchkins because in late 30s Hollywood, accusations of bird cruelty were potentially far more damaging to a production than the confirmed death of a little person. But the truth comes out eventually. I guess we should really pay no attention to the peacock behind the scenes, as it's probably killing itself. I'm not very good at those bits at the end where you do like a funny joke.
No jokes. No, we're not too good at them.
But I do have some bonus trivia about The Wizard of Oz. I don't know if you knew this, but if you watch the film on mute and play Pink Floyd at the exact same time, you won't be able to fully enjoy either experience, and you'll probably end up feeling like you've just wasted 101 minutes of your life. Music and film fact there.
Well, I've always thought that film was the adaptation of the album.
No.
Oh. We can move on because we are, what's the word? Filling the podcast with shit at the minute.
Yep. So, I understand that you have a film pitch.
Okay, I'm going to do my film pitch. Are you ready? Are you braced?
I am sat back and relaxing, waiting for the majesty of the film pitch. I also have a loaded revolver in my hand just in case.
Yeah, well, keep hold of that. You might need it. There is a method to my madness. And when I say madness, that's not a pun or a joke by the fact I'm in a mental institution. And by the way, all of that stuff at the beginning, I'm not making fun of mental health.
We should just point that out.
We should just point that out. Like, in no way was there any jokes at the expense of mental health. There was jokes at the expense of me and jokes at the expense of being crazy.
Which is all fine.
That's all fine. Anyway, so the method to my madness, haha, funny joke, was that the theme of this week was business. And you have appropriated this and made it about the film business.
Yes.
So this is a film pitch about a potential business idea. And based on the name of this, you're gonna, again, there's a little bit of hive mind going on here, so we'll see how this works out.
You've come up with a title. You don't usually do that.
I know, and I'm gonna begin with the title. The title of this film is The Fuck Water.
The Fuck Water?
The Fuck Water. It's good, right?
Is it about Migs?
No. No, this is not based on my life in any way. Yet. No, this is an original IP right here. This is an exciting film. So, what is The Fuck Water? Well, let's find out. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is a pitch to make Patrick Fabian famous. That was the original plan, right? So he's going to be famous in his life. Isn't that good? Anyway,
okay.
Patrick Fabian
plays
a reporter. Thumbsucker Pressman. Thumbsucker Pressman works as a reporter at the Daily Planet, doing all the reporting, and he says this directly to the camera, and he's red-faced and sweating profusely, and he says, "I'm a reporter. I report on all of the things, all of the time. Journalism, that's my motivation and interest in the story, you see."
I like it. It sets out what his character is all about with absolutely no room for ambiguity.
All of a sudden, his monologue to no one is interrupted by his fellow reporter, Amy Yazbek, who comes in and says, "Oh, hello there, Thumbsucker Pressman. Have you seen the news! Everyone is talking about it. Well, shit, Amy, I gotta watch the news. I'm a reporter after all. And so he turns on the TV just as a news report begins. You know that thing where, like, you turn on the TV and the exact piece of information you need is, like, just beginning at that point, that thing?
Yeah, or is it one of those things where they say only, like, TV reporters in films do this? Like, I've never seen a TV reporter in real doing this, but when they go, if you're just joining us, this is what is happening. Just because you want it to make it look like it hasn't just been really coincidental timing, but you also need to do all of the exposition.
Have you been peeking at my script?
Yes. You shouldn't leave it lying around.
I really shouldn't in the locked psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, there was a heist.
Anyway, we'll get on to that later. That's a potential scheme right there. Okay, so he turns on the TV just as a news report begins. And I want it like a news reporter interviewer person, right? Those that are on the TV. And I want it to be that woman from Ghostbusters, you know, the original, the secretary. I've forgotten her name.
Annie Potts.
What's her name in the film? Because I'm not going to say Annie Potts again and again and again.
Fuck.
I
can't remember.
Jean?
I don't know.
Janine, maybe?
Janine, maybe.
We're going to go with Janine. So we got Janine from Ghostbusters. And so she'll all be like,
if you're just joining us, I'm Janine from Ghostbusters, and I'm here interviewing wealthy industrialist, philanthropist, and all-around entrepreneur, Wagner Splash Capitalism. Mr. Capitalism, you've made a big splash in the newspaper recently with your new soft drink, fuck water.
And we're introduced to the wealthy industrialist, philanthropist, and all-round entrepreneur,
Yeah.
Wonga Splosh Capitalism.
Is that double-barreled?
Yes.
I like it. Can I also say that you do the voice of Janine from Ghostbusters, which I've just found out is her actual name in the film, so well done. It was one of the worst things I've ever heard.
It's pretty bad. There's a lot more of that, so just keep that in mind.
Good. Because I didn't ever want my testicles to come out of my body again.
Anyway, so Wonga is played by none other than Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
The underappreciated acting genius.
What? He's the darling of the film industry. He's, you know, the favourite. He's the everyman. He is the man we all point to and go, he's the man in the film. Everyone knows his name. Billy Zane.
Oh, so we've got Billy Zane. He's the big star. He's the big draw.
Yes.
But he's not necessarily the main character.
No.
But he's definitely in it. Like, his name is biggest on the poster, even though Patrick Fabian is nominally the star.
We might do that really confusing thing where on the poster we have a picture of Patrick Fabian, but it then says Billy Zane under it, just to maybe sort of give him a bit of a boost. That is Patrick, of course, because Billy Zane is a household name.
Yeah, he doesn't need a boost.
No. Anyway, so we got Billy Zane doing the interview with Janine from Ghostbusters, talking about his new soft drink, Fuck Water. So then he's alright. That's right, my darling. I have been making a lot of money for myself from all the fuck water I've been selling. Fuck Water is a brand new soft drink of my own design. Fuck Water, buy it now.
I mean, I'm convinced already. I'm going to go buy me some fuck water.
Exactly. And then Janine's right. That's right. Fuck Water has people going crazy all over town. So then we cut to riots at the local Stop and Shop or Kroger or Trader Joe's or whatever they have in New York.
7-Eleven.
The 7-Elevens. And just hordes of people with foam streaming out of their nose, mouth, and eyes, clamoring over one another to get at the big, giant silver cans of fuck water, which is written all over them in fancy writing. We also see a fuck water parade with huge banners and floats and all the fuck water branding. And there are like sexy women who are fully nude because sex sells. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it does. And they're firing cans of fuck water into the crowd with bazookas. And of course, the crowd, they just love it, despite the lethal force force at which the cans are clearly hitting people. We even see a young girl take a full can of fuck water to the back of the head, and it's definitely a killing blow. But someone just plants like a boot on her temple and leverages the can out of her skull and just bites the can to get in at the sweet, salty liquid inside.
I like it. I feel like this is the big kind of promotional image that we could maybe use. Maybe this will be like very heavily featured in the trailer.
Oh, yes.
With all of the prostitutes who sell their sex firing cans of drink out of bazookas into the heads of onlookers in a promotional murder spree.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's, again, fairly generic, everyday stuff right there.
I forget, because I wasn't really listening properly. Was this all happening in the location known as Times Square?
Yeah, the Times Square.
Because then we can feature a lot of product placement, like many billboards.
Like, you know, for Pogs.
For Pogs.
And Go-Go's.
And Heelys.
And Heelys. And Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
We all remember the Beanie Babies adverts. Get you some Beanie Baby. Classic.
Shove a Beanie Baby up you.
Well, maybe a cameo for the Super Soaker guy in there. Wetter is better. Remember he featured on the podcast a while back? Great guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Our first guest on the podcast was the Wetter is better Super Soaker guy.
Oh, if only. Anyway, that was all just the preamble. That was just a setup. So yeah, we cut back to Wonga Splosh and Janine, and she's drinking fuck water like right now, and she's all like, I think this is good. And then she just like, her head lolls backwards and foam all spews out of her.
I'm imagining like a lot of like too much foam.
Oh yeah,
for a human woman, like a high pressure fire extinguisher coming out of every orifice.
Anyway, Patrick Fabian sees this. Patrick Fabian doesn't like this, and in fact he says that directly to the camera.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. What's all this hoo-ha about fuck water? What do you think about this, Amy Yazbek?
And she's just standing there chugging a can of fuck water with foam all streaming out of her, and she offers the can to Thumbsucker Pressman. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot that's his name. Oh, well, why don't you try some? It's very good.
Try some? Well, when in Rome.
And he snatches the can from her, too hard if I'm honest, and lifts the can to his lips, then stops, sniffs it a bit, and recoils in disgust.
Blah! Oh god, that's gross. So disgusting. Blah! No, thank you. Get that shit away from me, you goddamn broad.
And throws the can on the floor, spilling fuck water everywhere. And immediately Amy Yazbek just dives to the floor and starts lapping it up off the carpet, which soaked in a bit. So that's a bit odd.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
It's a little obscure at this point. And Patrick, Thumbsucker Pressman, says, well, that's a bit odd. He says to no one in particular, as he watches Amy Yazbek just like going to town on the floor as foam spews out of her face.
I'm not sure what the plot of this movie is right now.
Exactly. That's it's like you're in the film. In fact, maybe you could play a good Patrick Fabian. We'll get to that. So Thumbsucker Pressman, he then looks up around the rest of the office floor and sees everyone is just going mental with the fuck water, and foam is spewing out of their eyes. People are chugging it, people are sucking it, people are bathing in it. Poor little Jimmy Olsen is injecting fuck water between his toes.
Oh, it's just Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, Lois Lane, from the looks of it, has drowned in a dog bowl of fuck water. It's just fuck water chaos out there.
I never thought I'd hear anyone say that sentence.
I know, it's correct, right? So, it is a fuck water orgy out there. And so Thumbsucker is like,
this ain't normal at all. Well, I oughta investigate further, cause that's what we do in investigative journalism. We get to the bottom of things. I'm on the case.
And at that point, Pressman's partner, Sean Pertwee, playing reporterman, walks in and says,
that was bad.
Yeah, well, I forgot I hadn't named him. Walks in saying, right, Chief, I've got your coffee right here. Oh, my word. He sees like the chaos, and he's all like, oh, I assume we're doing something about all this mess. No doubt you committed yourself to a story that you can't help but see through to the bitter end. I'm coming as well. And so they both like cock their guns, nod to one another, and that's when the title hits with the discordant clang, like just sort of random piano keys sound as a huge tripping title splashes on the screen. The fuck water.
Clang.
It's kind of a horror film, but maybe not. I'm not sure yet. And so, this is the setup for the film. Patrick Fabian and Sean Pertwee are on the case. It's a series of interviews going from person to person trying to uncover the mystery of fuck water. We're going to have all like bits where they're sort of like going to interview the store manager of where the riot broke out, and obviously it's played by Gerard Butler.
I mean, obviously, the classic store owner actor. Like, you think store owner, you just think, oh, fuck, Gerard Butler. Has to be.
Damn right. He's got the paunch, he's balding a little bit, it'll all be fine. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He says, like, drinking fuck water and foam all dribbles out of his mouth. And it will be like a series of events that are just like this. You know, they track down Dylan Baker, the director of Fuck Water, the movie, and he's all like, I've never heard of this fuck water. He says as he applies fuck water to his underarms in aerosol form. Now, would you like some fuck water? I've got plenty from Craft Services. In fact, that's all we got, is what he says.
So is it essentially just sort of a series of vignettes as they go around interviewing different people, and the people that they interview are just all doing something with fuck water, like injecting it, snorting it, pouring it in their eyes?
Maybe. Well, see what you think of the next little vignette and see, I don't know, maybe it sort of breaks from the pattern a little bit, because they interview Melissa Joan Hart, and she is known as the fuck water girl, and she's like a mascot, and she just wears Banana Man costume. I didn't have anything prepared. And she's all like, oh, what's the fuck water then? I've never heard of such a thing. And then she shoots like the advert where she has 2 buckets of fuck water on a stick, like a milkmaid.
Yeah.
And she's like, drink fuck water.
So like everyone's just saying I've never heard of fuck water while obviously drinking or promoting fuck water.
Well, in fact, Patrick Fabian takes note of this, and maybe he said something directly to the camera, or maybe to his partner who's just sort of around. I just don't understand it. Why does everyone keep offering me fuck water? There's gotta be a connection. You know, he's trying to work out what's the link, what's going on, why are things so weird and strange, and what's this fuck water people are talking about? What's this? Intriguing. Who knows? So, you know, are you hooked? Are you on board for the journey?
Yes, I am. I am desperate to know what fuck water is.
Yes. Also, at one point, whilst they're driving along at night, they come across a boy who's being chased by his family, and they've all got like foam streaming out of their faces. And he sort of just like jumps into their car, and they sort of like rescue him. And it's played by, I mean, I don't know who the fuck.
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel. Wait, isn't he like 39 now?
Yeah, massively fat.
Yeah. Tom Holland. He could probably pull that off.
The Spider-Man.
Yeah, fuck it. He's like 9 in this.
Okay.
So he's just like running along, and they like jumps in the car, and they sort of like drag him in. That's fine. And then and they're like, oh, well, what the hell are you running from? And then he's like,
Things aren't going very well. I was asleep in my bedroom, but I woke up and found my parents trying to pour fuck water down my throat.
And Patrick Fabian sort of like thinks about this for a moment, takes it in, does a dramatic pause, and goes, well, we've all woken up to our parents forcing some kind of liquid down our throats.
It's all fine.
And he just like becomes their kid now.
Right. They essentially like adopt him.
Yeah, they sort of own him, and he just has to follow them around, like from that point. Like, there's not enough room in the plot to really address the intricacies of what's going on, so that just sort of happens.
And it's all fine, I assume. Hook up with some randoms, get in the back of a van.
So they're forming like the resistance trying to work out what's going on in the plot of the film. And that may be something they say to the camera, like, we're trying to work out what's going on in this film. I mean, reality.
It's good that they correct themselves.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
I mean, reality, definitely.
Yeah, that's all good. But at one point, they get the military.
Yeah.
They get the military involved. Like, there's a disaffected, like, a military platoon that's camped, like, outside of town. And that's led, obviously, by John Carroll Lynch. And he's racist. And he's like, oh, I hate them blacks. And he just says that.
Fucking blacks.
Yeah.
I'm John Carroll Lynch and I hate blacks.
Yeah. Yes.
You probably can't say that so many times.
You can get away with one or two, I think, in any given podcast. So now they've got like an army. Like they were disaffected from the military. They thought the military was full of communists and lefties and black people. So they were like, we're going to go out live in the woods. So they weren't privy to the details of what's going on. But then Patrick Fabian shows up and Sean Pertwee and they're like, have you heard of the fuck water? You know, and then like they learn what's going on and they sort of resist because they've not been exposed to what's sort of been going on. And it's at that point, like a lightning bolt, Patrick Fabian, thumbsucker Pressman, realizes that fuckwater may have something to do with all the strange behaviour.
It's eerie how quickly he managed to work that out.
Yeah, I'm trying to workshop that a little bit, make it a bit more natural. But it's going to be a real twist in the film, like a real... like, that's not going to be in the trailer.
In the trailer, we'll have, like, people drinking fuck water, foam coming out of them, being all angry and, like, going into complete riot. But at no point will we ever let on that it is fuck water that is making them do that. Even when you have the people in the trailer turning to the screen and going, I'm doing this because of fuck water.
So they're all sort of like running around like a band. You got Tom Holland, you got John Carroll Lynch, the racist, you got Sean Pertwee and Patrick Fabian, like hordes of army men behind them. Maybe they'll have like a female sidekick at one point, Leslie Bibb. She can show up, she can be like another reporter who's like hot on the heels of the case, and she just like gloms onto them and is now forms a weird kind of family with Patrick Fabian and the kid. Like, even though there's no romance, they're just like together now, and they now own the child.
I think there should be some subversion there. I think they should form a sort of a strange little family, like ragtag family unit, but Tom Holland is like the dad and Patrick Fabian is like the kid.
Yeah, that will go down fine.
I think that's all okay.
Just to skip to the end, the climax of the film, we get, they go all the way to the top, they go through everyone who could have been involved, and then they're like, oh, I know that guy at the beginning of the film that we sort of teased, maybe he's got something to do with it. The guy who made Fuckwater, maybe we should go see him. And it, Wonga splosh capitalism, and he's there, and he's got like a smoking jacket on, and he's at the top of like a skyscraper or something. They all sort of like break in, and Patrick Fabian is all there, and he's like, you've been making all of the fuck water, giving it to people, making them do foam all over the place. It's really disgusting. I've not been drinking it. And Wonga Splosh Capitalism, he's played by Billy Zane, remember?
How could I forget?
Yeah. And then he's just like, how dare you? I am a businessman of the highest caliber. I only make good products for the people and sell them what they want. And that is when we learn the secret of the fuck water.
Oh my fuck, what is it?
We see Wonga Splosh Capitalism get a silver can. He holds it to his midriff, turns around during the conversation, hoping they won't notice. So it turns around, and then we hear like a sort of like a tinkle tinkle into a can, and then he comes back, and then the can is full, and then he seals it and puts it on like a big kind of stack of cans that are ready to be shipped out to the Stop and Shop or the 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa!
Oh my god.
Something happened there.
He's got udders.
Yeah, or maybe it could be a gland.
Does he just piss it out? Does he piss in cans and sell it? He's got a lot of piss.
It's just a gland.
A gland.
He's got a gland.
He's got a sort of an opening.
Yeah, just like a stoma or something. Or, I don't know. It's not clear.
I don't want the idea of Billy Zane with a stoma in my head.
It's a nightmare.
You've done that, you fuck.
Anyway, Patrick Fabian, thumbsucker Pressman, he gets out the handcuffs and he's like, now you are exposed and you will go to the jail. Cuff him, reporting man. Oh no. And he turns, and Sean Pertwee, reporter man, he is behind them all, and he is drinking fuck water.
Oh,
he's drinking
water.
The can of fuck water that was just placed on the stack. It's still warm. He was just really thirsty and wasn't really listening when Wonga was sort of exposed to everyone.
Well, I mean, they've had a long day. You can't really blame him.
So he just has it, right? And he's all like, Oh my fuck. Oh my word, that is delicious. Blimey. Oh fuck me, that is lovely. And he turns to the camera and says, the delicious taste of fuck water, ladies and gentlemen. Oh shit. And he's just fine.
Oh, he's alright.
Yeah, no, he's fine.
Does it just end?
No, there's like a kind of like an ending to it, but the important part is that Sean Pertwee is fine.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Next section.
Because it's like the whole thing, like with the foam and all that stuff, it turns out that was just purely coincidental.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a virus.
Oh,
it was a virus
fuck it.
the whole time. It had nothing to do with the fuck water. In fact, the CDC have been running around trying to contain the virus the entire time that they've been going off on their, gallivanting all over the place, spreading the disease. Because if you'll remember, Patrick Fabian, he held the can for a little bit. And that's when Amy Yazbek, who was foaming at the mouth, clearly very ill, he got it off of her. The disease was transferred. Luckily, he didn't put anything in his mouth because he didn't drink any of the fuck water, so his hand didn't go close to his mouth. He's been spreading it around all over the fucking place.
Yeah, shoving his hand in people's mouths.
Yeah, when he has been fisting Leslie Bibb, that's gone right up there. He's been handshaking, and they've sort of been shaking his hand, getting the foam on there, drinking the fuck water that everyone loves, and then a little bit has sort of gone in, and they've got the virus, you see. So that's what's gone wrong there.
Oh, so it's all a big misunderstanding.
Yep, like Shakespeare. Shakespeare did it, so it's good.
Yeah.
Dramatic irony, I think it's called.
That it was all a coincidence.
And whilst some people may find that frustrating or greatly misleading, fucking Shakespeare did it, so therefore it is good, and fuck you if you think otherwise or you disagree with Shakespeare. And I would not like to fight him in a one-on-one.
Is that going to be the tagline on the posters? Shakespeare did it, so fuck you.
That's good. We've got to write that down. But the main point of the film is we can do a sort of a tie-in promotional campaign where we can sell fuck water alongside the film. A film comes out and they have a product in there, and it's only in the film, but there's so much popularity around the film and the product's in there that they then make the thing that's in there. The lightsabers in Star Wars, and they're like, oh, we can make toys out of these, says George Lucas, and no one listens, but then he becomes a gazillionaire and won.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do that. Maybe we could have a brand of soft drink called fuck water that is released alongside the film.
I like it. It is what they call in the business world, getting back to the topic of the week, it is what they call synergy, which is just doing stuff that is connected to other stuff that people like. I think that's the exact definition of it.
And some people will be like, oh, but it doesn't make me spew foam out of my eyes and ears and stuff. And actually, if they paid attention to the film, they'd realize that that's not what the fuck water does. But, people don't pay attention to things. So I don't think we have to worry about litigation, because it's things like the everlasting gobstopper isn't actually everlasting. It does run out at some point. You do get to the end. If you ever had one, it does wither down to just nothing. It's not like you could power a nuclear reactor off of that thing forever. The soldiers from Small Soldiers, if you bought the toys, they didn't actually drug and tie up your family while massacring your other toys.
Yeah, and shoot those little corn skewers into your leg.
Yeah, that was the one bit of violence in that film. We're like, oh, there's blood there.
Oh, a little bit of blood there.
Yeah, and it was a kid.
Oh, they'd put a man in a net now.
But to be fair, that kid lusted after Kirsten Dunst, and she was underage, so he's probably a wrong un. Anyway, that is the end of the film. How about we round off the film with Phil's fun film facts?
All right, well...
have you got anything about foam coming out of eyes, or Patrick Fabian, or fuck water, or anything that may be thematic?
No. Did you know that the original screening of Disney's The Lion King was actually broadcast live to the entirety of Mann's Chinese Theatre in Los Angeles, as the premiere date was moved up so far that nobody had actually started working on the film yet. This monumental challenge required a team of 3,500 artists and animators to work on rotation, switching out for a fresh one every time someone's fingers wore down to the bone. 15 members of the crew died during the screening, and the majority of the others were so badly injured that they never drew or animated again. As if to add insult to injury, the movie was critically panned upon release, with one critic saying it was very unbelievable that the lions were intelligent enough to have meetings, and the live animation experiment was deemed a failure never to be repeated. On this occasion, the Lion King became the Lion Can't. I think I'm getting better at those jokes.
They're still horrendous, but it is amazing how expertly written that was.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure if you just got like a children's encyclopedia and then laminated that over one page, that would pass as like, yeah, legit. That is.
See, I think if that was like a page in a children's encyclopedia, this next bit would be like in a bubble next to it, you know, like also this.
Yeah.
Because this is the bonus trivia for this fact.
Oh, what a treat.
Speaking of The Lion King, I don't know if you knew this, but there is a moment in the children's animated classic where a cloud of dust flies into the air, and if you look closely at it, you can just about make out an image of Timon and Pumbaa 69ing while Rafiki watches and horribly abuses himself. Hakuna Matata indeed.
I did think that mix he got at the beginning of the film in the bowl was suspect.
Yeah.
You know, that weird goop that he splats on the newborn's head.
Doesn't he just get it out of a fruit or something?
Yeah, his fruit.
Gets out of a gourd. I think he's got peyote in there.
Yeah, it is dirty fruit.
Rafiki's Dirty Fruit. That's an episode title.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, suspect brown liquid. And like, it's bound to have hallucinogenics or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's getting that baby high. Probably not to rape him later, but why? So probably not. Probably not. It's like, it's more that I'll give the child the whiskey for toothache or whatever. Like, I'll just rub a bit into their gums.
Yeah, get them to sleep so they don't cry. Give them a bit of magic mushrooms to just calm the fuck down.
Just hallucinogenic paste and rub it into his face.
Maybe the rest of the Lion King was a hallucination. Maybe Mufasa doesn't really die. Spoiler alert for the Lion King, by the way.
Was that James Earl Jones?
Yep, the Darth Vader.
Can I change it?
To who?
James Avery?
Yes.
He was very fatherly in Fresh Prince, but thinking back on it, he was quite angry as Shredder and War Machine.
Yeah, isn't he also dead now?
He is dead, but I think he was still alive when The Lion King was made.
So you want to retroactively make him the voice of Mufasa?
Yeah, if we could do like a Infinite Crisis thing or a Time Crises or whatever it's called, if we just do one of those, and that's the one thing I want to change.
Yeah, if there was a genie, that would be
okay.
wish number one.
As a kid, I think you're actually exposed to a sort of emotional intelligence where you're like, obviously this is the way things are. But as a more kind of, young person going on adult and then an adult, you just become a dick and you're like, there was a mistake in that one thing, so therefore it is wrong and I am smart. I need to be smart. I need to be told I'm smart about the world. I need validation. I need to think I'm better than everyone, that everyone else is stupid, so I'm going to point out flaws that I think no one else has seen and therefore I can feel good about myself. Why is it that in the first Aladdin film, the genie's bonds are broken? His what do you call them?
Manacles.
The manacles around his wrists, they are broken. But in the next film, he's wearing them again.
I think he just liked them. He was a fan of the bling, I think.
That is what I thought as a kid. As a kid, I was like, well, obviously that's part of his costume. That's how he's drawn, you fuck apple. Why wouldn't he have those? That's what we know him as. And in fact, I think I may have seen Return of Jafar before the original film.
Why would you do that?
Well, because as a kid, you don't give a shit about continuity. This is my point.
I did. I was very concerned with the continuity of fucking Aladdin.
Actually, I was very concerned with the continuity of Power Rangers. But I think things were fucked for us as kids when they had cartoon adaptations of films.
Yeah.
Especially in the UK, which is where we are, by the way. Things would come out, like the film wouldn't come out for like 8 months. It would come out in the US and we'd have to wait 8 months. Half the time, the children's cartoon had already started on Saturday mornings. I'm pretty sure I probably saw the cartoon of Aladdin, which wasn't very good, by the way. I probably saw that first.
Yeah.
Out of everything. And then I saw Return of Jafar because I got it on video. And then I saw Aladdin. I don't think I ever saw Aladdin at the cinema. We were too young.
Well, I mean, also in terms of continuity, if you're looking at that, why are you not also saying, well, why is the genie voiced by Robin Williams and then in the second one he's voiced by Dan Castellaneta?
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, he's not voiced by Robin Williams in Return of Jafar. They couldn't get him back.
This is why children are better, because I didn't realise that.
So apparently, I don't know how true this is, Robin Williams wouldn't come back for the second one, but they got him back for the third one, which was, I can't remember what it was.
The Thieves?
Something about thieves.
Yeah. There was I've got a fucking thing about the continuity in that and all, but we'll continue.
But apparently Disney had to give Robin Williams a Picasso to get him to come back and do that one.
I mean, it's fucking Disney. I imagine they've got like a stack in their vault.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, shit, he's not in... I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I didn't even... But this is why being a kid is better.
Yeah.
Because you didn't notice that stuff. Although what I fucking did notice in Aladdin and the King of Thieves, they have a golden hand, right, that can turn everything into gold.
Yeah.
At one point, Aladdin wraps a little cloak around the hand, and the cloak turns to gold.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you touch the hand, you'll turn to gold. And then later, the bad guy, the villain of the piece, he grabs the gold hand, because he wants it, and Aladdin, like, chucks it to him, like, you want it, then fucking have it, you bastard. And, like, he grabs it by the hand, by the gold hand, he's like, no! And he turns to gold.
Yeah. Doesn't he have a claw?
He probably has a claw.
I feel like he has a claw.
Yeah, he probably has a claw, because they do make the more villainous characters in Aladdin look more Eastern. And I think someone with a missing hand and a claw is like the typical perception of the Middle East that the West have.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the guards in Aladdin always look the most sort of Arabic.
Yeah, although I seem to remember that like, they wear turbans, but they are white at the same time.
They aren't white.
They're sort of whitish, but they've got like very thin pencil beards.
Yeah. And I mean, if you compare Aladdin to Jafar, I mean, Aladdin looks way more Western than Jafar does.
Aladdin, of course, was his appearance was based on Tom Cruise.
Well, there we go.
Who might be the most white.
Back to my point, right? There's this point where the villain, he touches the gold hand to the floor and turns like the entire castle they're in, the entire island, into gold.
Yeah.
So where's the line? Because when he turns to gold, the whole place sinks because he turned it into gold. Fucking idiot. It's all heavy. It's going to sink now, you fuck apple. So they sink to the bottom of the ocean. But he's still holding the hand. So the hand touches the ocean. Doesn't the ocean turn to gold?
No.
But why? He touched it to the ground and that turned to gold.
Well, pass.
Yeah, exactly. This is what happens as a kid if you think about the continuity of Aladdin. How does that work? Like, okay, you put a cloak around it and that's fine. There's no contact between you. Like, the cloak turns to gold and that's fine. And like, when he grabs it with his hand, his little jacket turns into gold as well, and his underpants, I assume. So that was touching him. And when he touches the casket, so it's not just the bit that he's standing on turns to gold, the whole thing. But throwing it in the ocean is what happens at the end, and that's fine. It's like, oh, we'll just throw it in the ocean. Surely you just risked turning the entire planet into gold, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, prick.
They didn't know. They didn't know what was going to happen. It's like in Galaxy Quest, where they just go out into the atmosphere of the planet, and it's like, oh, I assume we can breathe this, and Sam Rockwell is like, you don't know. You don't fucking know. You just guessed. And in which case, it's a shame we're not getting Galaxy Quest 2 because of Alan Rickman's death, and that only hit me the other day. By the way, we're still talking about films, so that is thematics, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to have another film fact coming up in a minute. When Alan Rickman died, that was a shame.
It was.
That annoyed me. I found it annoying. I was like, oh, fuck you for ruining my day. And I thought like, oh, I'm going to go on social medias and like be like, oh, Alan Rickman, I loved you when you fell backwards off the building and was Severus Snape and like stabbed Dumbledore in the neck with your wand.
I haven't watched that film because
spoilers.
I have watched it once, but for my money, it is the weakest of the Harry Potters.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're describing it very accurately.
That is the thing that genuinely upset me, because I knew that Alan Rickman was dead, and I knew that the idea of Galaxy Quest, like a sequel, was being thrown around, and whilst I was like, sequel to a beloved film of an earlier era, that doesn't go too well. But then I was like, Sigourney Weaver's still good. Sam Rockwell is bigger now than he was then, so maybe they can do more with that.
And dances all the time.
Exactly, you could have a dance scene. The two pieces of knowledge didn't collapse into my mind as related. I didn't think, oh wait, they needed that guy alive to do the film, and only recently was pointed out to me like, oh, by the way, there's not going to be a Galaxy Quest 2 because of Alan Rickman's death. Did I realise, oh shit, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, so that was a sad moment for me.
It's not good. I had that thing when Alan Rickman died where I just kept remembering stuff that he was in and going like, oh, fucking Dogma.
Yeah.
And Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I'll cut his heart out with a spoon.
Anyway, shall we cap off this section with a fun film fact?
So, speaking of Galaxy Quest...
Oh, brilliant.
This one is also about space.
Damn it, I thought... Okay, I'm slightly disappointed, but please continue.
So, did you know that Michael Bay's 1998 asteroid epic Armageddon, pronounced by some as Armageddon, was initially supposed to be shot entirely in space, even the scenes that take place on Earth? It was all a part of a scheme by the US government to provide tax breaks to all studios that moved their productions off-planet in an attempt to combat overcrowding of the Buena Vista studio lot. Unfortunately, Bay realised at the last minute that his movie was typically over-reliant on explosions created by pyrotechnics, which would not ignite in the oxygen-free atmosphere of space, and production had to be swiftly relocated back to the surly bonds of our planet Earth. I know the movie was called Armageddon, but that really would have been a cataclysmic event resulting in the destruction of all life on Earth.
Liv Tyler was in that film.
Yeah.
I think we should maybe adopt her into our stable.
Maybe we should. She fascinates me because I do not understand how someone that attractive came out of Steven Tyler.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah,
who looks like a plastic waxwork of a man that has been melted and punched.
What if you heard that Steven Tyler was Liv Tyler's grandmother? Would that make more sense?
Weirdly, I think it would.
Yeah, it would,
I
right?
would be like, oh, okay, so there's like another generation in between there. Like, I know that her mum was like a supermodel and that kind of okay, but how, like, she must be the most attractive woman in the world to cancel those genes out. She doesn't have massive teeth like her dad.
She may have had a lot of reconstruction done after coming out of that.
She might have come out looking like the Crypt Keeper.
Fucking hell. I feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't had a career since, like, fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I've not... She
was in Incredible Hulk, briefly. She's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
There was a show that she was in.
The Leftovers.
Yeah.
Was that any good? Because it had Damon Lindelof in. I mean, I could go off a rant about Damon Lindelof, but I mean, that's covered by the internet.
Everybody knows.
Oh, that's actually got Justin Theroux and Christopher Eccleston in.
Yeah.
Ah. It's a shame it doesn't look good at all.
No, because it reminds me of that movie Left Behind that was originally like a Kirk Cameron thing, and now it has Nicolas Cage in it.
Why Nicolas Cage? Okay, if you're ever going to watch Left Behind, just watch Knowing instead. That's a much better Nicolas Cage movie. I watched that recently, and I don't understand why people don't fucking love it. That is a brilliant film.
Is that the one with the aliens talking to children?
Yeah.
And then there is an apocalypse.
Spoilers. Yeah, it's like Rose Byrne is there in a museum and Nicolas Cage sort of like does a double take on her and then sort of like sidles up to her, raising his eyebrows around. He's like, oh, and then like tries to make conversation with her. Like, he's not a murderer in the film, but he just acts like he might be, just in every social situation. He spends a lot of the film heavily drinking, swinging a whiskey bottle around, looking at numbers, going, oh, like he's a massive alcoholic, and that problem is just never addressed.
No.
And like, he's a single parent alone with a child, and he's swinging bottles around the place, but because he's not like doing it in the child's room, therefore it's okay.
That's fine.
It's all fine.
You know, he's just going, oh.
Yeah. It's pretty much like a plane hits his car at one point. And he's like, oh
no, that's going to ruin my insurance premium.
There's a whole thing about like fate and destiny and predicting the future and all this stuff. The plane hitting his car, which is related to the plot, is just purely circumstantial. It's just like, oh, and by the way, as part of this, your car is going to get hit by a plane and lots of people will be on fire, and you'll like half-heartedly try and like put one of them out, and they'll still just burn and still be on fire, and you'll just walk away from them.
Well, that's good. I like a movie that throws just coincidence in there a lot,
as well as destiny.
Yeah, destiny, like the whole thing is about destiny, but then at some points they just go, oh, that was unrelated.
Yeah.
And then Nicolas Cage goes, oh,
it's a good plot device. In fact, maybe I should put Nicolas Cage somewhere in the fuck water.
No, you can't put Nicolas Cage in a film pitch because we will just spend the whole episode doing impressions. The whole episode will just be us going, oh!
Like, I did try and avoid actors that are traditionally made fun of.
Like your Nicolas Cages, your Christopher Walkens.
Yeah.
Can't really do them.
James Spader was a bit on the cusp. He's a known quantity. People make fun of him. I think we're okay across the board for everyone else. They're sort of safe. But it's like, we're not going to do your Christopher Christopher Walkens or your Nicolas Cages or
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey's.
you're not going to hear us drop a Heath Ledger Joker routine in there. You know, that's been done. It's been done.
It's hackneyed.
Exactly. Hackneyed is not what we are.
No. Would you like some bonus trivia about Armageddon? It's only very tangentially related to Armageddon. It's more about someone in Armageddon.
Brilliant. Okay, go on then.
So, obviously, we all know that humans are born with over 300 individual bones, but did you know that the late great actor Michael Clarke Duncan had nearly 16,000 bones in his body at the time of his death? Scientists believe it was a result of drinking too much milk from a dairy located alarmingly close to Chernobyl, and may also have been the cause of his tragic demise.
Aww.
All those bones. Big bony Michael Clarke Duncan.
I feel though he was saved a worse death in Sin City 2.
Yeah.
Because at least, actually, you know what? I think saying the phrase, thank God Michael Clarke Duncan wasn't around to see Sin City 2 is potentially offensive.
Potentially, yeah.
He's better off dead.
Better off just being a hideous mass of bones.
Yeah.
Wearing dungarees, probably.
Ironically, it's probably fun to say that about Brittany Murphy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Poor Brittany Murphy.
Yeah. Died in the arms of Michael Clarke Duncan.
Yep.
Skewered by bones.
Too many bones. He's like a porcupine.
Well, you were right when you said that we're just going to randomly talk about films for a long time.
We should probably maybe head towards the outro now. Oh, there's one more film fact and then some outro shit.
Go on then.
So, the final of Phil's fun film facts, all with a PH, remember? Did you know that the original concept for Marvel's 2012 crossover smash, The Avengers, was very different from what we eventually saw on screen? Back in 2010, a script treatment titled Iron Man v Captain America: Dawn v Avengers was written by an anonymous writer and circulated around Hollywood. The story would have seen Iron Man and Captain America facing off in an extremely contrived manner which involved completely destroying the inherent personality traits of both characters and turning them into snarling grotesques who want to kill each other for very little reason, before ultimately teaming up against a CGI monstrosity and a camp genius supervillain whose plan makes no fucking sense at all, in an obvious and heavy-handed attempt to set up a shared universe franchise without any real justification. Fortunately for all of us, that script was thrown in the sea and Joss Whedon was brought in to write the revised draft, and thankfully nobody with a history of making terrible movies fished the script out and made it into anything else for any rival companies.
Was that Dawn v Avengers? You know, that makes as much sense as the title that you are lampooning, but I do love the idea. Dawn versus the Avengers. It makes as much thematic sense.
There's bonus trivia to this as well if you want it. Or do you want to talk about the Avengers for a bit?
Civil War was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Batman v Superman was bad.
Yeah, tried to watch as much of it as I can. Really fucking struggling, I have to say. It's got some good scenes in there, but the bath scene.
I saw Batman v Superman with my better half, and of all of the issues in that film, the main one that we ended up discussing in quite some detail, and we keep bringing up to this day, is who the fuck gets in a bath with shoes on? You've ruined that bath now, Superman. She's not happy. Where are the bubbles even? She didn't have any bubbles. You got in the bath with all your clothes on. You probably ruined your phone because you didn't take it out of your pocket, you prick.
It did look like that bath water was quite cold as well.
Yeah.
It looked like the kind of bath that you would have in North Yorkshire in the dead of winter. Like, it did not look like a good bath.
It did look like the sort of bath you would have in a tin bathtub.
And potentially outside next to a barn. And yet this is meant to be erotic.
But get out of the fucking bath with your shoes on, Superman, you prick. And Lois Lane went, get out, you bastard.
That would actually have been a better scene.
Get out, you bastard, you're ruining me bath.
Who's the actress who portrays her?
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams, that is now how she speaks. Oh god, it's a shame it's Amy Adams. She's good.
Yeah.
She didn't make it on our list, but maybe she will if she continues down this path.
Yeah.
In fact, I did have a whole thing about Lois Lane drowning in my film. Maybe that was
drowning in fuck water.
In a dog bowl. Maybe that was like thematically similar for some reason.
So yeah, like little bit of bonus trivia about the Avengers.
Yeah.
Not Iron Man v Captain America: Dawn v Avengers. Did you know that Tom Hiddleston's performance as as the Asgardian demigod Loki was entirely motion captured by Andy Serkis. Hiddleston actually had no idea about his own involvement in the film until he bought the DVD on a whim from a branch of HMV in Dunstable while he was on a break from filming Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak. That definitely filmed in Dunstable, I think. The actor and heartthrob has been quoted as saying, "What the actual fuck?"
Yeah, I would be outraged. I mean, I would have said if Andy Serkis was to motion cap anyone in a film, in a major Hollywood production without them being aware, it would be Mark Hamill in Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
In fact, I wonder how many actors suffer from this problem of buying a DVD at Asda or whatever. Sorry, a Blu-ray. They've got money. And they take it home and then they are witness to Andy Serkis portraying them and have just stolen their likeness and just green screened it over his mangled goblinous face. Anyway, this has been going on for a fucking long time.
So, we have discussed in the past, you mentioned it earlier, that Nod Your Head by Will Smith is the best song to end any film with.
The magnum opus of film endings.
Yes. So I have been thinking about this. I wanted to experiment a little bit to see if there is any music that is better than Nod Your Head to end a film with.
Okay.
I think I might have found one. So I'm going to try it out. I'm just going to read some final lines of films and then I'm just going to play the music and see how good it is. One thing I will say, when you imagine this, imagine it at the end of the film, but imagine it going freeze frame and the credits going up really, really fast.
Ah, brilliant.
While the music plays.
Could we maybe have Will Smith doing a little dance like the deaf translation thing in the bottom left
just
or right
whack him
corner?
in the corner, yeah.
And just him, no backup dancers.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give it a go.
Okay.
We'll see how it works out. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. So that is the Boston Legal theme tune.
That sounds pretty fucking good. Also, I like only playing a few seconds of it, so if there's get content ID'd anywhere, that's not enough for us to get sued.
That was what I was going for. Do you want to rate it? Do you think that worked?
Either a 6.5 or a 7.
Okay.
That was pretty good. Yes, I found that quite pleasant and not at all...
jarring.
Jarring is the term, yes. Yeah.
Okay, we'll try another one.
Okay.
Oh no, it wasn't the airplanes. It was Beauty Killed the Beast. So did that one work?
I think you've just highlighted how bad that line is.
Yeah, it makes it a more sort of comical thing at the end.
I like that one slightly less.
Yeah.
Unless we actually got Will Smith to sort of sidle onto the scene at that point and maybe dance up and down on a certain corpse that I won't name because that is spoilers.
All right, well, we'll keep going. Where we're going, we don't need roads. What do you think about that one?
I'm playing less and less of it each time. That one is an 8.
An 8.
Because I can imagine Will Smith dancing on top of the DeLorean in that one.
Yeah, well, you know, magic of cinema, you can do anything these days.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this one, a little bit out of left field. Little bit of a curveball here. I wish we could chat for longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Playing a bit more of it this time.
Perfect. 10 out of 10. Fantastic. Oh god, I can just imagine Julianne Moore's just... No, wait. Jodie Foster's stunned little face. The slow comprehension of what has been unleashed on the world. And she is safe, but will always have that burden of the knowledge.
So, just a couple more.
Okay. I don't think you're going to top that.
What about this one? Hang on a minute, lads. I've got a great idea. Imagine us panning away from that coach, hanging over the edge of the cliff. What's he gonna do? We don't know.
Okay. Can we have you narrating the scene so we just get you going, oh, look at that bit, that's good, that goes well, that fits.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. Again, it's sort of an upbeat scene ending on an upbeat note, like, haha,
Yeah.
and then it ends.
So, final one. We're going for a really, a chilling final line.
Okay.
You finally really did it! You maniacs! You blew it up! God damn you! God damn you all to hell! Oh god, this is the Statue of Liberty. Oh my god, they blew it up. Oh shit. What's Charlton Heston gonna do? So what do you think of that one?
I like it because it's mocking Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Which I think we can all agree is a good thing.
Definitely.
I was watching Charlton Heston recently in Soylent Green.
Yeah. It's people. Sorry, spoiler.
He's not a bad actor, but he's clearly of a different era. Like, he should have been born in, the late 19th century. He should have been born in, 1890. And sort of been in that era of actors and stuff. He's way too old school to be in 70s sci-fi dystopia.
Yeah.
He was just on the cusp with Planet of the Apes. Late 60s, okay, fine. But how things went at the end...
Yeah.
Ugh. He went from being democratic civil rights and stuff to being Reagan era, NRA loving, give me all the guns, I like shooting children in the head. I think he said that.
I think
that's
so.
A quote. You can quote me on that. So the idea of mocking his previous work in this way does sort of bring me a sick kind of delight.
Yeah.
However, I think maybe should have held back the Hannibal Lecter one till last.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But it shows that we do not plan this ahead, because if we had, then I would have held the best one till last.
I can recut it.
No, please do not.
We need to retain the authenticity.
Yeah, and the ending on a slightly sour note.
And in the theme of ending on a sour note, ad read now. So, right. Oh, I need to make sure the old pipes are clear.
Whiskey. Old Crow.
Right.
Engine degreaser. Get those pipes clean.
Actually, that wouldn't go amiss right now. This week's episode of Quality Irrelevant was brought to you by Fuck Water. That's right, suck down that fuck water. One unique flavour, one unique smell, one unique colour. It's Fuck Water. If you were gonna scrape anything off the back of Billy Zane whilst he's ploughing a young girl, it better be Fuck Water. Grab the sheets after he's done with her and squeeze them out to get at that fuck water. Associate fuck water with the good things in life, like fun, youth, and higher social aspirations. Inject the notion of fuck water into unrelated but appealing and universal aspects of life, such as having friends, fun holidays in the sun, or just plain old group acceptance via conformity. Consume wet fuck water all the time forever. Look at Patrick Fabian. He's now enjoying fuck water. You could be just like him. Drink fuck water and be Patrick Fabian. He doesn't mind. We all like a bottle of old wet fuck water. Drink Patrick Fabian's fuck water. Drink it. Drink it before death. Death is coming. You will die. Might as well drink old water wet fuck. Fuck you wet water before death. You will die, you old wet water fucker. Fuck old wet water old fuck. Fuck water. Oh wait, that advert was supposed to be for Coca-Cola.
Shit. Every fucking week.
I'm so bad at this. Oh, well, they probably won't mind. Coca-Cola aren't really known for their advertising anyway.
No. Drink fuck water. Someone's fucked it.